Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Italian calcio football recap of this weekend. A lot of meat on the barbecue, as we said in Italy. A lot of carne al fuoco, a lot of meat on the barbecue because there is a lot of topic, a lot of things happen on this weekend. Beside the fact that Napoli it's thriving, already winning their third scudetto in their history, absolutely deserving, smashing Torino for 4-0, showing the best football in Italy, showing the best football, one of the best football in Europe. As you can imagine, as a Milan fan, I'm a little bit worried because you see what's going on with Milan. In this video, we're not going to talk about Milan, of course, but they lost again 3-1 against Udinese. We did something like 10 or 11 points in the last 10 match. So it's really bad time for us, considering that we're gonna face the best team in Europe 3 times in 16 days. That got me a little bit worried. However, guys, in this video we are going to talk about the Napoli. We're gonna talk about the race to the top four with the incredible derby in between Lazio and Roma, and of course the derby d'Italia, Inter versus Juventus. Okay. However, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, feel free to do so, because guess what, it's for free. Put a massive like to this video and let's start from the best team in Europe right now, which is Napoli, which they show up. If you want to see what it could be Italian football, you have to show directly the Napoli match against Torino, because Napoli is showing the best Italian football possible. It's not even any more Italian football, because meanwhile all the other teams they're struggling. Napoli, it's simply going to Bergamo, going to Milan, going to where they went to Torino, and just simply showing beautiful, very fluent football, with again double scoring from Osminhen, probably the best number 9 in Europe right now. Again, Kvaratskhelia, the Georgian, that it's literally from another world. And I think Dembele scored the 4-0, and literally after not even 1 hour of gameplay, Napoli was already up 4-0. So what's the point of even playing? I know Torino wasn't probably the best fit, but as you know, if you're not a Napoli fan, any match that you go in away in Italy, it could be very tricky. So Napoli literally it's flying up. They have an entire team that it's led by their coach Luciano Spalletti, which is something I have to say, because I think Spalletti was a coach of Roma, and he had a lot of things going on with Totti, and eventually Totti had to leave Roma also for retirement, but I think he was pushed a little bit also by Luciano Spalletti. Then he went to Inter, and guess what? There was the capitano, Mauro Icardi. They also had a lot of fighting between each other, and guess what? Icardi eventually had to leave. Last year, Spalletti went to Napoli, and he had to deal with Koulibaly, Mertens, and Insigne, the backbones, a little bit what was the leader of the dressing room. And guess what? One year, and they all left. And guess what now? Guess what? Who's on top of who's on top of the table? Who's leading Serie A? Because I believe that Napoli is like a team that everyone is following their coach. They are completely focused on the coach, and they believe in Luciano Spalletti. That's why they are flying. Because Luciano Spalletti knows a lot about football. Believe me or not, knows a lot about football, and they deserve what to do, and they deserve where they are. Absolutely smashing season for Napoli. Meanwhile, the race for the first spot is literally on fire, because we have an incredible, I have to say, an incredible Juventus that, even though at the moment has 41 points, with 41 points on the table, but if they eventually at the end of the season they're gonna give them back those 15 points, I don't think it's gonna happen, but there is always a chance. They are at 56 points, located second spot in Serie A, well 2 points clear from Lazio, which is located second. Let's talk about a little bit the derby of the capitale, the derby d'Italia, Lazio-Roma. Once again, Lazio won the second derby of the season. And I have to say, in the beginning of the season, I made with Football Drone. Check out his channel, Football Drone. Really, really cool story about footballs. Always news videos on, so make sure to subscribe also to his channel. But guys, we made a, I remember that during summer there was Roma. Everyone was talking about Roma here, Roma there, and we're gonna buy this player, we're gonna buy Dybala, we're gonna buy Wijnaldum, we're gonna take Matic, we're gonna pay all these players. And everyone, there was even people talking about Roma now is about to get is gonna get the scudetto. But the interesting things about this is that in all that enthusiasm, I always felt like the teams from the same city, they are very much in competition, and Lazio didn't have the same explosive summer mercato, right? So I always believe a little bit in myself that, you know what, Lazio is gonna feel the competition. Sarri is a hell of a coach. He's gonna let the team play really, really well. And I made a bet with Football Drone that I said, look, trust me, Lazio is gonna end up above Roma. He said, no, that's impossible. There, Mourinho, special one. I'm still believing, this is my little bet with him, that Lazio eventually this season is gonna end up on top of Roma. That's what I believe, that's what's gonna happen, because Roma so far is showing literally the worst football in Italy. That's what I believe. The player, they're very nervous. The player, they're reflecting what Mourinho is doing. Mourinho, for I don't know how many red card got this season. They complain constantly. Every single fault they were watching the ref moving their hands like this, like deserve second yellow for Ibanez, like finish the derby basically after 32 minutes, because then Ibanez, the defender for Roma, got a red card, out of the field, unfortunately. Well, for deserved, unfortunately. And Lazio didn't really play them much better. In fact, they just won 1-0. But they have a really good player that I want to underline, which is, I think, it's Zaccagni. Zaccagni is a left wing from Lazio. I remember when playing against Milan, he was really, really on fire. And it's good because he's Italian, and he's a growing star. I believe that he can do really, really well in the next few years. So remember this name, Zaccagni. So at this point you have Napoli at 71 points, Lazio at 52, potentially with the Juve slowly climbing up, and then you got Inter at 50, Milan at 48, and then Roma at 47. So at the moment top four is Napoli, Lazio, Inter and Milan. Potentially, if they give points back to Juve, you're gonna have the situation that Milan is out of Champions League. However, Juventus-Inter, actually Inter-Juventus, the match was a very bad, terrible match. I didn't enjoy watching it. It was really boring, it was really tactical, it was really very much what you expect from a Derby d'Italia. Very, 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 a lot of complaints, a lot of time wasting. And when is that balance of them in a match, what's usually happen, a little mistake. Something had to happen to light up the match. In this case, was I think it was a clear handball. I mean, again, I'm not an Inter fan. Trust me. The last things that I want to see is Inter winning. And if you ask me, do you prefer Inter victory, Juve victory? I will say Juve victory, because I'm from Milan and I believe in my city and I believe in my colors. But in this case. But in this case, I have to say that, to me, the one of Rabiot, it's clear handball. It's clear handball. You can see the how to say, the rotation of the ball change as soon as it touch Rabiot's body. So that was something that probably the VAR should have seen, but apparently there was not enough clear image to clarify the moment of Rabiot stop ball in the midfield, and then from then slowly running towards Inter's goal, pass to Kostic, and Kostic made a hell of a goal, because I know Nana did a little bit the parata laser, let's say the invisible save, but that was literally like a pool hit. So really, 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 really good. And however, Inter really didn't do anything else beside probably the first 20 minutes with Barella, with a couple of good shots. He was really nervous. I know that he was feeling the match, but other than that, Inter didn't really do anything to say, oh, now Inter really deserved. I know they got better possession ball, but it doesn't matter. So I think Juve didn't play this massive, incredible match. I don't think Juve is still on the same level of the last few years. But Inter at the moment is like this. Unfortunately, the mentality last year was like, we're gonna claim back our second star, we're gonna win the scudetto, and there were a competition with Milan. So there was a lot of feeling inside. Nowadays it's kind of gone. Still, I know they are in semi-final of Coppa Italia, they are a quarter-final of Champions League, they are in the second, right now third spot in Italy. So it's good, but I know how deep down all the Interistas feeling, because they had they could have done a better result season for sure, at least in Campionato. Then in Europe, whatever happened. Also now they're gonna have to manage against Benfica, which is not an easy match. Actually, it's very, very hard. Is it the worst? Is the best result among the top 10 for sure? But still, like, you are dealing with a very good team, which is Benfica. However, guys, again, Napoli is gonna be top. Is gonna be definitely Campione d'Italia, followed by Lazio, Inter, Milan, Roma. They are all literally in 5 points. So one defeat and one draw, anything could happen already. I'm super excited about this Campionato, because beside the top position, anything could happen in between Milan and Rome, Milan and Inter, Roma and Lazio, and slowly Juventus is coming back, even though with the 15 points that it's really, really pushing them down. But I think that somehow the 15 points, the problem with the thing with the punishment with the 15 points actually brought back in Juve a little bit of the pride, because they see this Napoli, and I know the competition in between Juve and Napoli is really strong, and they see this Napoli going super sky high. They got 5 slaps in the face when they went to San Paolo, and now they feel like they slowly want to do their best, because Allegri, however, is a good motivator for the Juve. Will I keep him next season? Hell no. I don't want. I think in Italy there are two big coaches that they're doing a very old school football, Allegri and Mourinho. That's my thought. But then, who am I? However, guys, thanks for watching the full video. We're gonna have a couple of weeks for free now of no football, a little bit of cleaning ourselves from football, and defeats, victory, calm down before April. That is gonna be definitely a month of fire. I'll see you in the next video.